So now you have your after repair value determined and you have your estimate on your repairs. What else do we need to know to make an offer? Because that's really about what the numbers is all about. Deciding the max offer price that we can come in to get a property and not paying too much, because we make our money when we buy properties. We collect it when we sell. So if anybody tells you differently, don't listen to them. They don't know what you're talking about. If you don't buy a property at the right price, you're not going to make money. So let's show you how to make that offer. And really what it comes down to is knowing what costs are going to be on the property. And you start with your ARV. You take your ARV from the top and you subtract all the other costs out, and that's how you get what you can offer for a property. Now, these other costs are things like your utilities, your insurance, your property taxes, your hard money costs or private money costs if you have a private lender on the property, the cost for your realtors when you go to sell the house, your closing costs, both when you buy the house and when you sell the house. That's things like your title fees, your title insurance. So a lot of these are going to be easily, they're going to be easily estimated. And you're going to find as you do this and you expand to other markets, I'm going to give you a tool at the end of this where you can adjust that tool for each market, because you're going to find that your carrying costs in one market might be only $300 a month for your utilities, insurance, and taxes, whereas another one might be $500. Taxes, real estate property taxes in Nevada are pretty low, but once you get up into Minnesota real estate property taxes are a little bit higher. Colorado, Denver property taxes get a little bit higher also. So you have higher monthly carrying costs. Now, we always err on the side of caution. And when we're estimating, because the properties we're going to be doing, the properties you're going to be flipping should be pretty quick properties. It should be a quick turnover, meaning that your rehab is going to take 1 or 2 months. You'll be on market for maybe upwards of a month, and then another month, month and a half to close the property. So really you're somewhere between 4 and 5 months from when you bought the house to when you sold it. When we're estimating these carrying costs, always do 6 months. Even if you know the property is only going to go 2 months or 3 months, estimate 6 months. It's not that much more. It's not going to kill your deal, but it's going to be safe. And it's also going to be a way to under-promise and over-deliver to your investors if you have them on your deal with you. So the goal of the calculation, when we put all these numbers together, is find the max amount you can pay for a house. So let's talk about some of these numbers I've already discussed. The purchase closing costs. Now, analyzing these thousands of deals across the country, we came up with 2% of the purchase price. And that covers your title fees, your taxes, your insurance, things like that. So that's $2,000 for every $100,000 of purchase price. Now, a real estate transaction is not just your purchase price of, in this case, let's say $100,000, repairs of $30,000, and now you have $130,000 into the property. No, you have all of these additional costs that you have to plan for. So the estimate for purchase price, closing costs, 2%. Simple math. Carrying costs, $500 per month. That's on the higher end. Most of the properties that we see at the entry level properties are somewhere between $200 to $400 a month. Now, if you have a condo or a townhouse, you might have an HOA fee, and that's going to bump that up a little bit. So you might want to plan for that, throw an extra, whatever the HOA fee is on top of that estimate. Because some of those HOA fees, your homeowners association, HOA, they can get really pricey, especially on condos. I've seen condos with HOAs. These are entry-level condos of HOA fees of $500 a month. So that's on top of all the utilities and taxes as well. And plan for 6 months, like I said. 6 times 500, that's $3,000. That's an extra $3,000 of project costs that you're planning and budgeting for. Your cost of money. Now, I wasn't born with a silver spoon. I didn't have a trust fund, any of that kind of stuff. When I started investing, I was able to get loans, and as I increased my business, I had to get hard money loans, HML. And when we actually ran the numbers on this, no matter if you were getting 10% loan, 10% interest rate and 3 points, or 12% interest rate and 2 points, and we'll talk more about the hard money and the cost of it as we go on, but the cost of money really came out to about 7% of the ARV on these deals on average. And that is, if I have a $300,000 ARV, 7% of that, 3 times 7, $21,000. That's about what the cost of your money is going to be for a 6-month process on this house. It's a really easy way to quickly estimate what you're going to have to pay. Closing costs at sale. Now this is a big chunk, because this is where you have to pay realtors. When you buy the house, the seller is paying for the realtor costs. That's coming out of their end. But now as you sell the house, closing costs come out of your end, and to the tune of 8% of the ARV. And when you really break that down, that's 3% to your listing agent, 3% to the buyer's agent, and then 2% for title and closing costs and a few other expenses. Now, this is not including if your buyer wants an extra $5,000 loan assistance from you. That's not included in this. This is just your standard closing without seller paid concessions, is what those are called. But 8% of the ARV, this is on $24,000. I love it when the TV shows put on they do what the profit margins are on properties. So they'll take the same $300,000 house, say they bought it for $150,000, and then they put $30,000 in repairs, so $180,000, so potential $120,000 net profit. That's not the way it works. There's all of these other added expenses in there, and you have to know about them. Now, again, it's just simple math that we just subtract them out from our ARV, because the ARV is the number we start with. And that's why it's so important that the ARV has to be right. So this is the no formula. It's just basic math, guys. It's all, you can all do it. You can do it on a napkin at a bar. You can do it anywhere. $300,000 after repair value. Purchase price, closing cost. Now, I don't know what my purchase price is yet. So what you can do is you can take the list price of the property and you can use that as your estimate. So in this case, we were taking, if the property was listed at $220,000, that's 2% of that is $4,400. Repairs. This house is, we're saying it's a 1,500 square foot house, $18 a square foot for a standard remodel, gave us $27,000 in repairs. Carrying costs, 500 times 6. That's your utilities, your insurance, and that equates to $3,000. So you're taking that out of there. Hard money loan costs, 7% of the ARV. 7% of $300,000 is $21,000. You're taking all of this out of there because we're trying to figure out what we can buy this house for. And then finally, the closing costs of 8% of the ARV. So what are we missing? We're still missing something. And it's the reason why you are all wanting to do this business. You're missing your profit. I see so many investors that say, hey, Luke, do you think this is a good deal? And I run the numbers and I said, well, where's your profit? And they forgot to put that in there. They just put in all the costs. Like, we don't do this business for free. You're in this business to make profit, to make money. And that's why you want to do it. Now, your profit should be at a minimum 10% of the ARV or $20,000 at a minimum. So if you have a $100,000 house, I still want you to go and try to make $20,000 on that, not $10,000, because your typical mistake is going to be about $5,000. It's going to be a $5,000 mistake. And as you're first starting in this business, I guarantee you are going to make mistakes. I did. Everybody I know that's in this business has made mistakes, but we're trying to teach you how to not make them. So invest safely, 10% of the ARV or at a minimum $20,000. So in this case, and as project costs and efforts go up, profit should go up too. If I'm doing a project that has, it's $300,000 in costs, let's just say, It's $300,000 in costs, and I'm going to be able to sell it for $400,000. If that project is a $100,000 purchase and $200,000 remodel, that is a huge remodel. That is a huge expense. It's going to take long. It's going to be difficult. There's going to be problems that come up. It's going to be a lot of money out of pocket. I'm going to want a nice chunk of profit for doing all that added work. So as your project costs and efforts go up, the profit should go up too. So we go back to our formula. We throw in our $30,000, or 10% of the ARV for a profit. And the max that we can offer on this property is $190,600. Don't offer that. Okay? They're going to know that you're running some type of formula, and they're not going to take it as seriously. I've seen offers come over on properties of mine at $87,212. Nobody makes offers like that. Just round it to 1,000, up or down. A couple $100 on a deal is not going to kill you. So in this case, we're looking at making a $30,000 profit on this at $190,600. If we offer $191,400 more and we only make $29,600, are you still going to be okay with that? Yeah, you are. It's all right. So round to $1,000 mark, please. Now, you don't have to do all this in your head. You don't have to do it all on paper, because we wrote up a calculator for you. It's a simple Excel calculator, and you can do this business off of this calculator. It has all these equations in here, nice and easy for you. Now, the way I do it is each of my markets, I have a different deal calculator. So I have the deal calculator Vegas. I have the deal calculator Phoenix. I have the deal calculator Tampa. Every different market, I have one of these, because my costs are a little bit different. Now, as you expand and grow your business, as you do more deals, you're going to want to do that too. But for you first starting out, use the presets that are in this calculator. It's just going to be easy and it's going to be safe. The holding costs per month of $500, the selling costs of 8%. Guess what? If your selling costs, if your listing realtor is going to list that house for 1% instead of 3%, your selling closing costs go down. So there's all different little things that you can do to make a little more money. And we'll talk about that as we go through more modules. But the deal calculator is there for you, and use it. Get familiar with it. Run deals through it. Fill in the fields that are green. It's easy for you to see what you should do and not do in this. And when you get this, it's going to be your master calculator. Okay. Every time you open this calculator, you should do a file save as and type in your property address that you're running the numbers on. That way you can always go back and say, what was I thinking when I made that offer? And you can see what your numbers were, what type of rehab you went with it. It's all right there. The way I do it, I keep a folder for each property, and I put all of that information into that folder. I try to keep it as systematic and easy as possible. But this deal calculator is going to help you analyze deals so fast and help you make those offers. So at $190,000, boom, you make that offer, $191,000, whatever you want to make it at. It gets out. You haven't even gone to the property. You've looked at some pictures online. You spent a couple hours. You got some comps from your realtor. You made your offer. Meanwhile, the other investors are trying to figure out a time that works with a realtor to go out and look at the property and go and walk it, count all the light bulbs and light switches and measure the cabinets. And we don't do that. You don't have to do that. Make your offer on these repair estimates. And it's going to take time to feel comfortable with them, with the repair estimates, with your ARV. But remember, it's your responsibility. The ARV most definitely is your responsibility, because you get to determine based on the facts, not on feelings. Remember, your realtor is going to make money off of you if you buy this house. They're not making money on you if you profit on this house. Now, they might be looking out for you, and they should be, but you always have to take that in consideration. Don't just send me the 3 comps that you think are best. Send me the group of comps, like I showed you earlier in this module. That's the type of data sheet you want to see from them. You don't want just, oh, here's one comp. Buy this thing at $400,000. That's not what you want. You want to be able to determine what your ARV is. Remember, there's no 100% right answer on ARV, but there's a lot of wrong answers. And practice makes perfect. The more deals you analyze, the better you're going to get at it. Make offers. Don't be afraid. You have to make offers. Now, it's just the way it is. We're going to talk more about how you make your offers in another module. But when you make your offers, so many things happen. You gain your confidence in your offers, but your realtors and your wholesalers, if you're making offers with them, they gain confidence in you as being a real buyer, somebody that's actively looking and ready to pull the trigger. But you're going to make those offers based on your numbers and use the calculator to come up with those numbers. It works. I use this calculator in my business day in and day out. So determine your ARV, do your repairs, find your profits. You guys can do this. Lean on the network. We're here for you. The ARV, it's your responsibility. You got to run those numbers. The repair estimates, those are the easy things. Don't sweat those. You're going to get a contractor coming in behind you after you've got the offer accepted to double check that, to give you a real repair bid. And then to find out what your offer price should be, you're using your ARV, your estimates, and you come up with that max offer price. Don't be a robot. Round it to 1,000. Send those offers out, guys. Review this video module. Go through the homework underneath here and keep it going. Share your successes. Share your problems. Let's all help each other to succeed. Good luck, guys.